What's happening, guys, and welcome back to the channel. For today's video, thanks to the team over at Robosen, we're going to be taking a look at their brand new Transformers Generation 1 limited edition auto-converting Grimlock. Now, this guy is brilliant, so I just want to first of all get stuck into a few statistics. So, this guy is the world's first auto-converting dual-form bipedal to bipedal walking robot. Now, what that means is this guy can walk when in Dino mode, he'll be able to transform and still be able to walk when in robot mode, which is actually kind of crazy. Much like I say in the vast majority of these Robosen reviews, it's quite literally like Grimlock has finally come to life and is in my review station. It's nuts. He also comes packed with a whopping 34 servo motors and 85 microchips. Now, to kind of put that into perspective, their outstanding Optimus Prime, which they released previously, which also could transform, only had 27 servo motors and 60 microchips. So technically, this guy is way more advanced than Prime, which is kind of ironic considering that in the show, he was definitely a lot dumber.
Me not stupid. Grimlock smartest Dinobot of all.
But anyway, we're just going to get stuck into his Dinobot mode, insanely detailed. I think this is likely to be their most detailed G1 robot to date. It literally looks like they took the original Masterpiece figure and just upscaled it. The detail, especially packed into the Dinobot mode, looks crazy. I love the neck section, you know, with all of the kind of golden chrome that we have underneath that transparent piece. It looks sick. And also the chrome that you can see throughout this guy, such as packed into the teeth, the chest piece, and the toes. It does look awesome. But let's power this guy on and let's see what Grimlock has in store for us. So first of all, you're going to want to fold down this tiny little flap, which is technically situated on the bot mode chest piece or the crotch plate of the Dinobot mode. That will then reveal a power button that you're going to want to hold, I'd say, for roughly around 5 seconds. And then the king will announce that he's powered up and ready and raring to go. And yes, I do believe those are voice clips directly taken from the original Grimlock voice actor, that being Greg Berger, which, much like the Peter Cullen voiced Optimus Prime, is crazy. So we're going to run through a few voice commands because this guy is insanely awesome in terms of Dino mode. So, hey Grimlock.
Yes, we know.
Who are you? Absolutely the king. This guy is so awesome. Hey Grimlock.
Yes, we know.
You are the king.
That's right. Me, Grimlock, king.
So cool. And I think the head movements accompanied with the movements of the mouth when he speaks is just so insanely cool. For those of you wondering, the T-Rex arms are posable. They don't move via servo motors, but we do get a ball joint packed into the shoulder, a hinge joint for the elbow, and all 3 fingers are articulated. So that's pretty awesome. Hey Grimlock.
Yes, we go.
Flame out.
Me, Grimlock, melt you.
And I love how the LEDs change red when he's absolutely destroying the Decepticons with his flaming breath. Hey Grimlock.
Yes, we go.
Optimus Prime.
Optimus Prime, can you forgive? Me, Grimlock, jealous of you.
Just absolutely brilliant. This guy's insanely cool, and what I love about him is that most of the voice commands that you give to him in Dino mode, you can also say in robot mode, and he'll perform 2 completely different actions depending on whether or not he is in Dino or robot mode. So for example, when I said Optimus Prime to him, that action is completely different in robot mode. Now, as I mentioned previously, this guy can also walk when in his Dino mode, so hey Grimlock.
Yes, we go.
Move forward.
Dinobots roar.
And that is just so cool. I love how the stomping effects also accompany the leg movement, and he'll also be able to backtrack. So, hey Grimlock, move backwards.
Dinobots roar. Grimlock hero. Grimlock hero.
Now, for those of you that may potentially be worried about the chrome that's on the tail or on the toes, don't be, because the tail does have 2 wheels which are built in, so that basically helps to avoid any scraping. And in terms of the toes, they do have these pretty thick, durable foam pads on the underside, which again does just prevent any chipping, which I thought was a pretty nice touch. Now, I will go through a few more because, to tell the truth, guys, I could do this all day. So, hey Grimlock.
Yes, we go.
Megatron.
You might be big, but I'm bigger.
Just so awesome. Now, this next one is actually one of my personal favourites. So, hey Grimlock.
Yes, we go.
Bite. Look at him stomping and chomping. Now, I'm going to save the rest of them for when we get stuck into the app controlled, and I'm going to basically just give him the command, which I'm pretty certain you guys have all been waiting for. So, hey Grimlock.
Yes, we go.
Transform. Now, this is so cool. Whoa.
It's extinction time.
Extinction time indeed, and I think that is just so impressive. I mean, personally, I think it might be better when in comparison to Optimus Prime. The amount of movement that's packed into the tail when it transforms is just nuts, and to see him still retain an incredibly G1 accurate looking robot mode is just super cool. I mean, in terms of a display piece, this guy is banging, and as I said beforehand, he can perform as many commands in robot mode as he could when in Dino mode. Hey Grimlock.
Yes, we go.
Attack. Look at him showing you guys the full force of the Dinobot King. So now we have him in robot mode, I think it's a perfect time to talk you guys through some of the accessories that he includes. So what would a king be without a crown? Yes, this guy does come with a very G1 accurately sculpted metallic golden crown, which really does just complete the look of him. He also comes packed with one savage looking Dinobot King sword, which does have an LED packed into it to kind of make it look as if though it's flaming. So glad they included this, because personally I think Grimlock is just 10 times more badass with a sword weapon, and he also does come with that classic Generation 1 blaster, which much like the sword does have 2 LEDs built in. So let's showcase just exactly what this king can do with some of his arsenal. So hey Grimlock, fire! And I mean, look at the way he cocks and reloads his gun. Now, just to very quickly run you through, guys, some of the points of articulation that he has in robot mode, because there are just so many servos packed into him, I would not recommend to move any of the integral joints, such as the shoulders, the elbows, the hips, or the knees, unless you're doing the whole programming thing in the app, which I'll showcase in just a second. So, what are the areas you can move? So, if you want a slightly more toy-accurate look, you can take kind of the dino claws and fold them down. Completely up to you guys. It's not something that I personally would recommend, though, because sometimes he does like to, you know, do a few push-ups, and if those claws are folded, you do run the risk of potentially scratching some of the chrome, and the head is also fully articulated, although do not rotate it the full 360 because it does have an LED built in. So let's go through a few more voice commands. Hey Grimlock.
Yes, we go.
Hello.
Me, Grimlock, know you, friend.
Me, friend Grimlock. Hey Grimlock. Autobots. And the movements are just insane. I love how the shoulder panels kind of manipulate and are moved out of the way when he's doing specific movements. It's just so insanely cool. Hey Grimlock, happy birthday. Now this is one of my personal favourites. Party! Look at him go. He is a groovy Dinobot. The foot movement, the arm movement, just everything about this guy is incredible. Hey Grimlock, showtime!
Optimus Prime, strong leader. Like me, Grimlock.
Hey Grimlock, crush! Now this is super badass. Transform him back. Dino Mighty. And look at that flamethrower in his mouth. That is just so cool. Now, as much as I'd love to sit here all day and throw all 45 voice commands at this guy, I have to go through and show you the app. So once you do sync this guy up with the app, one thing I love about Grimlock is that unlike the previous Robosen products where once they'd connect to the app, you'd get this very generic robotic voice kind of confirming that the pairing was complete.
Grimlock Bluetooth connection successful.
This guy retains his Grimlock voice, which I think is just so cool. To hear Grimlock kind of talk about Bluetooth is something that I just never thought I'd hear, considering that he was a character from the 80s. But anyway, much like all of their past ones, he's also fully programmable, so this is where you can really begin to kind of puppeteer this guy. You can move him in all of the different poses that you want, and the app or Grimlock will somehow recognize what position he's in, and then he'll perform your own personalized commands. But you also are allowed to have full creative control over this guy because we get an entire action base as well as a remote control center. So first of all, we're going to go through the remote control center. This is where you kind of get a D-pad. You can move him back and forth as well as side to side, which is insanely cool. You can also adjust the speed, so you can have Grimlock going slow, you can have Grimlock going fast, and oh, what surprise to see just how fast he can walk when in Dinobot mode, considering that he is this big lumbering brute. So those are pretty much the commands that you can get out of the D-pad. There's also this section with kind of a light bulb, which allows you to customize the eye color as well as the flamethrower in the mouth. So you could have pink eyes on Grimlock if you wanted to, you could have purple eyes, blue eyes. It's actually really kind of cool. I love how they're customizable, and the same also, as I said, goes for the flamethrower, and we also can perform a few commands.
You might be big, but I'm bigger.
It would actually be so awesome to have a Megatron go up against this Grimlock, because this guy at the moment is the king. I'm not going to lie to you guys, he is the king of the Robosen items, and I'm wondering if they were to bring out Megatron, just exactly how these two would interact with each other. I think it'd be really cool, but that pretty much covers the entire gist of the remote control. Let's now get stuck into the actions, and there are some here which are just outstanding. So I'm going to go through a few of my personal favourites, and one of those has got to be the crazy Grimlock.
It's jump and stop time.
Whoa, the movements, the way he's literally able to flip himself around is just so awesome.
That's right, me, Grimlock King.
There's also a squat exercise that Grimlock can perform when in Dino mode. Come on, you big bozo. And that's so cool. Much like Prime, he actually gets out of breath, which is awesome. Come on, Grimlock, you are the king. And there's also a howling command. Now, this next command is actually one of my younger brother's personal favourites, and the inner child in me can absolutely see why, so I'm just going to let it do the speaking for itself. Grimlock taking a big old dump. That's actually kind of cool. Now, this one's also pretty cool. This is Grimlock enjoying a meal. So maybe he's absolutely decimated a herd of Decepticons and wants to chomp on some metal. I mean, he actually gulps, which is just so insanely cool. Wow, this guy is quite literally just the king. I have no more words to say other than yes, he is definitely the king. Now let's get stuck into some of these robot mode actions. Now, as soon as you click on one of these commands, he'll actually auto-convert, which I thought was pretty cool. So let's click on push-ups, because Grimlock's got to put the work in if he wants to take out some of those Decepticons. Look at him go. I don't think that transformation is ever going to get old. So insanely cool. And he wastes no time at all. Yep, still one of my personal favourites. That command gets better and better with every single release. So we'll do one more command here for the robot mode. Let's do Who Are You? As if we didn't already know he's the king. But that pretty much wraps up everything that I want to discuss in terms of the app. So let's get this guy transformed back into his Dino mode, and then I'll give you guys my final thoughts. Hey Grimlock!
Yes, we know.
Transform! And so, it pains me to say because I've had an absolute blast shooting this review, but that's a wrap on the Robosen Transformers auto-converting Grimlock. This guy's brilliant. I really don't know what else I can say. They've basically taken everything that we loved from their Optimus Prime and in my opinion made it better. This is a feat of engineering in terms of the Dinobot mode. Not only does it look incredible in terms of the painting and the sculpting, but the movements, the servos packed into the neck, the jaw, and in particular the hips are just extraordinary. I was not expecting this guy to be able to pull off half the commands that I showcased in this video. And then when we get stuck into the transformation, I don't think it will ever get old to see something quite literally transform itself before your eyes. It's just insanely awesome, and the robot mode is just as nicely done as the Dinobot mode. There have been no compromises, at least that I can see, in terms of the way this guy looks. And much like Dinobot mode, paired with the accessories, the crown, the sword, and the blaster, he is a force to be reckoned with in terms of upcoming Robosen products, because the movements that he can perform, dancing, kicking Decepticon ass, is just insanely awesome. And I love how you can give him the same command in Dinobot and robot mode and he'll perform two completely different actions depending on what mode he's in. So yeah, just absolutely insanely awesome. This is definitely the best Robosen product that I've personally checked out, and I would love to hear your thoughts down in the comment section below. What do you guys think of this Robosen Grimlock? Do you think it still retains the charm that we got from the original Robosen Optimus Prime? As I said, I think it's better. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below, and until my next video, I'll see you then. Thanks for watching.